Hello everyone, it's DiegoDoom here. Today I'm bringing you another review. Today I'll be reviewing S.H.MonsterArts Shin Godzilla, the second and third form. These two forms of Shin Godzilla come from the 2016 film Shin Godzilla, also known as Godzilla Resurgence. In the film, Godzilla goes through three transformations, each more bizarre than the last. The second form, also known as Form A and nicknamed Kamada-kun, is Shin Godzilla's first transformation in the film. In this form, Shin Godzilla takes on the appearance of a bizarre snake sprouting tiny legs and underdeveloped arms. The third form, also known as Form B, is nicknamed Shinagawa-kun. In this form, Shin Godzilla becomes larger and begins to stand upright, looking even more bizarre and fearsome. To see the review of S.H.MonsterArts Shin Godzilla, click the link on screen right now. Be sure to check out the 2016 film Shin Godzilla. It's a great film. S.H.MonsterArts Shin Godzilla, the second and third form, are great releases in the S.H.MonsterArts line. Both figures have fantastic sculpts, great paint applications, and a great range of articulation. First, let's take a quick look at the box. I have to admit, I'm really surprised how nice this box is. It has a very nice premium look and feel to it. Most of the box has a nice solid matte finish. Something that makes the box look and feel even cooler is the fact that some of the text and product images have a nice varnished finish. This box is definitely worth keeping. Now, let's take a look at our figures. First, let's start with our second form. Now, before we start moving this figure around, something you have to be aware of. This figure is very small and does feel a little bit delicate, so in moving this figure around, be extra careful with the joints. Starting with the head, we can look up, down, left, right. The head can also swivel. We can open up the mouth quite a bit. Now, when you're opening the mouth, this is one of the main points where I thought I might break my figure, so definitely be careful when opening this mouth. Moving down to the neck, we can look up, down, left, right, and swivel. Moving on to the chest, we can look up, down, left, right, and swivel. You see the two tiny underdeveloped arms here. These are actually on two tiny ball joints, so they can swivel just a tiny bit. Moving on to the legs, we can kick forward this much, backward this much, and come out to the sides this much. We do have a slight bend in the knees and also a swivel. Moving on to the ankles can actually bend a tiny bit and swivel. The toes are actually articulated as well, which is pretty cool. And then finally, we have the very long tail comprised of several ball joints. This is very posable and definitely very cool. The third form has a great range of articulation. We can look up, down, left, right. The mouth can open up very nice and wide. We can actually pull down the lower jaw and also pull the upper portion of the head up some as well to get a very nice open wide mouth. Moving out to the arms are on ball joints. We can tilt and spin these pretty freely. In the upper chest, we can lean forward. We cannot lean backward much. We can twist side to side and lean side to side some. Moving down to the waist, we can lean forward, backward, twist side to side, and lean side to side. The legs can kick forward this much, backward this much, and come out to the sides this much. We have a nice bend in the knees. The feet can tilt and swivel. Then finally, we have the very long, super articulated tail that is fully posable and comprised of several ball joints, which is definitely very cool. And you can see you can really get this tail into some very nice solid poses, which is pretty cool. You can practically wrap this thing all the way around the body. But yeah, very nice here. When it comes to sculpt and paint apps, both the first and second form are fantastic. First, let's start with the second form. Starting from the top, we have the head. At the top of the head, we have Shin Godzilla's nicely detailed and textured skin. The skin has a weathered tan paint app that varies on different parts of the body. We can see the very muscular brow accented by the textured skin. The eyes are large and inset into the body with a white paint up for the eye and hollowed out black pupils. The snout is long and nicely textured. The nostrils stand out and do not get lost amongst the detailed skin. The mouth is very nicely done. The teeth are tiny with a dirty bone paint app. The inner mouth and jaw membranes are very nicely detailed with a flesh tone paint app. Now, something I noticed on my figure, there is quite a bit of overpaint on the front of the chin. Moving down, we can see the detailed and textured large gills. The inner slits of the gills have a very nice blood red paint app. Moving down to the chest, we have Shin Godzilla's signature protruding accent. In the collarbone area, we have a flesh tone paint app. The chest has a smooth yet creasy, scaly sculpt. We can see the tiny, underdeveloped arms of a slightly lighter weathered paint app. The legs have a very nice muscular sculpt. On the tops of the thighs, we see several open pores with a weathered blood red paint app. The feet are tiny with dirty bone toenails and spurs. Spin around to the back, we have the developing dorsal fins with a very nice sharp sculpt. The dorsal fins are individually sculpted with a slightly darker weathered tan paint app. In between the rows of dorsal fins, we have a very nice blood red paint app. As we come down the back, the dorsal fins become longer and then taper off once we reach the tail. The tail has a nice long smooth yet scaly sculpt. At the very end of the tail, we have a very nice club-like tip. Now for our third form figure, starting from the top, we have the head. At the top of the head, this time around the skin is now more textured and detailed with a weathered darker olive paint app. In some spots of the body, this paint app seems to have an orangish tint to it. The head as a whole is larger and longer. The brow is even more pronounced. The eyes are large and inset into the head with hollowed out black pupils. We also have some nice fleshy creases around the eyes. Moving out to the mouth, the teeth are nice with a semi-sharp sculpt and a dirty bone paint app. The jaw has a slightly lighter paint app with an orangish tint to it. The inner mouth and jaw membranes look fantastic with a flesh tone paint app. Moving down the neck, we can see the gills have become small and begun to form a very nice muscular neck. The inner slits of the gills have a blood red paint app. Moving down to the chest, we have the chest protrusion. The collarbone area still has that same blood red paint app. The chest as a whole has tons of scaly creases and folds. We finally have the arms starting to sprout out. The shoulders and arms have a lighter weathered paint app from the rest of the body. The tiny claws have a bone paint app. The legs have a nice large muscular sculpt. The protrusions on the thighs are even more pronounced than our second form. The open pores on the thighs go from a blood red to an orangish paint app. The feet have a nice large sculpt. The toenails and side spurs have a bone paint app. Spin around to the back with the nicely detailed dorsal fins. This time around, the dorsal fins have an olivish paint app. The skin between the dorsal fins has a lighter blood red paint app. As we come down the back, the dorsal fins become larger and then taper off once we reach the tail. The tail has a nice long multi-segmented sculpt with various scaly creases and folds. At the very end of the tail, we can see the beginnings of the signature gruesome face at the end of Godzilla's tail with a nice flesh tone paint app. As a whole, both the second and third forms turned out to be fantastic. The sculpt is fantastic, the paint apps are great for the most part, and the articulation is great on both figures. Now, after messing around with this set for a while, it really makes me wish for a Godzilla Jr. figure on the scale as the third form figure. I know we had scaling issues between Little Godzilla and Godzilla Jr. in the past. This could make for an awesome renewal release instead of making a repaint. Now, if we remove the limits of proper scaling, I would not mind having the second form on a larger scale so we can have better articulation and not feel like we're going to break the figure when moving it. Since this set does not come with any accessories, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. To conclude the review, S.H.MonsterArts Shin Godzilla, the second and third form, are great releases in the S.H.MonsterArts line. Both figures have fantastic sculpts, great paint applications, and a great range of articulation. This set is definitely very nice, very neat, and very cool. Now when it comes to recommending this set, I'll have to leave that up to you if you should pick this up or not. This set only comes with the 2 figures and that's it. I know some people will feel they're being cheated by that. It would have been nice if they included a little statue of the first form or maybe an effect part for a 4th form figure. This set is a Tamashii Web exclusive and I'm not sure it's going to be released here in the US, which means this sparse set could get pricey. If you don't feel good about the price of this set, then I recommend trying to catch this set when it's on sale somewhere. Now, if you're a big fan of Shin Godzilla, then I absolutely recommend picking this set up. Be sure to check out the 2016 film Shin Godzilla, it's a great film. This has been another review by DiegoDoom. Thank you very much for watching and please stay tuned for more figure reviews. To see the unboxing of this set or more S.H.MonsterArts reviews, click the links on screen. Be sure to follow me on social media and remember, like, comment, and subscribe.